What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch our videos. And today's video is going to be a tutorial video, but it's going to be slightly different than what you're usually used to. You see, most game tutorial videos focus on game features like how to use a building, how to train troops, how to use certain functions in the game, how to navigate. But there's one key thing in all games like Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire that is probably the most important feature and the most crucial feature. And this feature will determine whether or not you win or lose, grow or quit, whether you're going to be able to have a strong alliance, whether you're going to have a strong state, and that is the interaction between players. Okay? More simply put, it is game diplomacy. So this tutorial playlist is going to cover all aspects of game diplomacy. Okay? Everything from NAP to flag rule, how to form allies, how to keep the peace within your state, how to communicate with other states to form allies during certain events, things like that. This particular video is going to cover NAP. And those of you that know what NAP is, I apologize, but I need to explain it for those that do not know what it is. NAP is an anagram, and I hope that's the correct word, but it's an anagram for non-aggression pact, and it's usually followed by a number such as NAP 5, NAP 10, NAP 15, and the ridiculous NAP 20, which shouldn't even exist. Alright, what the number means, it's the number of alliances, top alliances, that agree to a non-aggression pact. So NAP 5 means that the top 5 alliances will not attack each other, will not scout each other, and they'll work together. Okay? Now, before I go any further, there's two key things that I want to bring up and discuss. One, if your state is brand new, relatively new, or if you're a new player, and even some veterans of the game, they seem to not understand, not know about, or in some cases don't quite seem to grasp the idea, what the whole point of the game is. The point of the game is not to be the strongest player in your state. It's not to be the strongest alliance in your state. The point of the game is to be the strongest state in the entire game. Okay? Right now, if you're in a new state or a relatively new state and you're a new player, you're seeing castles attack castles, alliances attacking alliances, a lot of smack talk going on in chat, things like that. And you think that this is the game, you know, and that you're supposed to become as strong as possible in your state. That the alliance you're in, whether you're a leader or a member, is supposed to be the strongest alliance in the state. You're wrong. That is not the point of the game. You see, right now is just the beginning phase for the game. At this point, you're gearing up for what's to come. And believe me, what's coming is coming quick, and you're in for a rude awakening if your state is not united and if people have grudges and they're fighting with each other, okay? You see, eventually you're going to have what's called Clash of Province, Reign of Chaos, and even Eden going on in your state. And these events are all based off of your state or your alliance going against other states or other alliances in other states, okay? The other thing that a lot of people don't get is they think of their alliance as their family, or members in their alliance as their family. Whether someone's active or not that active that much, you know, they're like, oh, but they're a nice person, we need to keep them. They try hard, they mean well. Or they're like, yeah, I'm going to stick with this alliance to the end. I'm die hard my alliance. That's also wrong. The entire state is your family, okay? The alliances are just different rooms in that family house, okay? The number one alliance is your moms and dads, your aunts and your uncles. Alliance number 2 are kind of like your nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters, and all that. Because in the end, you're all going to be going against other states. So there's no point in arguing and fighting each other within your own state, all right? Another thing I've noticed, too, is that a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this myself, they want to be the shot caller. They want to be the top dog in their state, all right? One thing I learned the hard way is you do not want that responsibility. if you are the top dog or the shot caller in your state, you're not only responsible for keeping the peace within your own alliance and making sure that people are following your rules, but you're also responsible for making sure that every other alliance and every member in those alliances in your state also follow certain rules and aren't warring with each other and keeping the peace with each other. You know, you also have people that make this game their life. They spend $1,000 easy per month, some of these people. And if you're the shot caller, if you're the one making the decisions, and this guy just spent, let's say, $200 this weekend to get stamina, recover troops, and who knows what else, and lost millions of troops, God knows how many resources, and you made a stupid mistake, you made a bad call, man, he's going to be pissed. Imagine being him. Let's say you just dropped $1,000 this month. You know, you brought your power up to something like 40 million power. And then because the person in charge of your state just made a stupid decision and ended up having a powerful alliance from another state decide, you know what, we're going to target this state. We're gonna attack them all the time. We're gonna take all their tiles. We're gonna abuse the hell out of them. Well, man, you just ruined it for this guy. You know what I mean? You don't want that responsibility. So, how do you form peace within your state? Well, it starts with what's called NAP. At first in your state, if it's brand new, you're gonna have a free-for-all. Alliances are kind of forming, leaders are being, made, this and that. People are attacking everyone, alliances are attacking alliances. Some alliances might be kind of teaming up with each other, and it's during this stage of the game that you're going to have a lot of people be like, the top alliances are always picking on the little alliances, they're always bullying us, we can't grow, that's not fair, or the top people are only top because they spend so much money, it's not fair, All of that is irrelevant and obsolete. And at some point, if you're still complaining about that, it's because you're making the wrong decisions. All right? Like I said, the main point of this game is to get your state strong so we can challenge other states. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is by assisting and allowing the formation of 3 or 4 super strong alliances in your state. All right? So instead of complaining that this alliance is always bullying you or this alliance is always picking on you, you have 2 options. You can either take it, or complain and chat, which just like in real life, the more you complain, the more you let it affect you, the more they're going to keep doing it and other alliances might start doing it. You know what I mean? Or you can smarten up, drop your pride, drop your ego, drop your grudges, and realize, those top alliances are the top alliances for a reason. They're better than you. You know what I mean? So you and your strongest players should be joining those top alliances. And if there's already someone in your state that can handle the responsibility, can handle, it gets the game concept, knows the ins and outs, tips and tricks, and most people in the state seem to be flocking towards the guidance of this handful of people, let them do it. Don't fight it. Join them. Go along for the ride, because the stronger alliance that you're in, the quicker you can grow, the stronger you can grow. It's not about your pride and your ego. This game is about a unified state, challenging other states. Yes, there might be some garbage talk from the top alliances. They might be cocky. Oh, we're so good. We're so powerful. But the truth is, guess what? They are. So face it. You know what I mean? So, after your state has kind of formed some alliances and some leaders have kind of stood out among the rest, what should be implemented is a NAP 15. You get the top 15 alliances to agree not to attack each other, not to scout each other. And also by this point, most members in the state, most players in the state should have farm accounts, separate castles that they've created that they can get resources from. The more farms that are created in your state, the less people need to attack main accounts, okay? If the number one player the strongest player in your state has 10 farms that he can attack for resources, he has no reason to attack you. If you have 5 to 10 farms that you can get resources from, you don't need to attack other people. You see how that works? So alliances will form farm alliances, which are alliances that hold the farm accounts of members of their alliance or of the state. Another type of alliance that's created is an academy alliance. And what that is, it's an alliance that has people that are active, that have potential, but they're not quite strong enough. They're not quite skilled enough. They don't understand the game quite just yet. So they're put into these academy alliances where they can train and they can grow at a slower pace with less demand, less competition, and they can be molded. And once they've reached a certain level or reached certain requirements, they can graduate on up to the main alliance. Now, NAP agreements branch out to farm and academy alliances most of the time. So if you're in a top 15, a NAP 15 alliance, you're not allowed to attack any castle that belongs to a top 15 alliance or any castle that's in a farm alliance or an academy alliance that belongs to one of the top 15 alliances. So once you have your NAP 15 set up and people are abiding by it, usually there's consequences. If you're in a top 15 alliance and you attack somebody else in a top 15 alliance, usually a state will implement like a 1-to-1 ratio. You violated, you attacked him once and took resources, so he's allowed to attack you without retaliation to get those resources back because you violated the peace agreement. You know, there's different ways to do that. There's one state that I checked out recently, 121 or something like that. They have an emperor, but they're not a super strong state yet. So what they did is they set up enforcers. There's key members from multiple different alliances that form kind of an enforcer group. And if someone in the state violates one of the rules for the state or one of the NAP agreements, you report them to one of the enforcers. And the enforcers decide whether that person should be punished, zeroed, retaliated against, or they set the agreement, you know, to keep the peace. They'll teleport the castle next to the victim and be like, all right, go ahead and send your troops to get your resources back. If he fights back, we will step in and make sure that that person gets zeroed, you know. So there's different ways to kind of enforce the rules, but the NAP 15 will allow at least 15 alliances to start growing in peace and comfort and with relative ease. They don't need to worry about shielding every day because somebody's going to attack them or something like that. So they can grow rapidly. Yes, that means that at first they're going to be feeding off of the smaller alliances, but those smaller alliances should now start merging with each other, becoming stronger. You know, if you have a few alliances, like, you know, that are in the top, let's say 30, man, most of those alliances should be merging with each other and kind of moving up the ladder, you know. So once that's established and you have 15 alliances that are kind of getting stronger and can grow in peace, now you narrow it down. Now you need to start consolidating that power. Within the top 15 that has been established, when you're ready to go to a NAP 7 or a NAP 10, the strongest players within that top 15 should migrate and join the top 3 or 5 alliances. Everyone else should kind of bump up to the top 10 area, okay? And now you make it a NAP 7 or a NAP 10. The reason why you want to start consolidating power is because if you have 15 or 10 alliances on a long-term or permanent basis, you have super strong players that are distributed among too many alliances, which means you won't be able to form 3 or 4 super strong alliances. You need to consolidate those powers to form those 3 or 4 super strong alliances. So once you have your NAP 7, NAP 10, whichever one you want to do, and those top 7 or 10 alliances are starting to grow super strong. Now they're getting there. Now everybody in the state needs to start thinking and being like, okay, now it's clear who the best leader is, who the strongest alliance is. So it doesn't matter what alliance you're in at this point. By the time you have a NAP 7 or NAP 10 and it's established and it's going strong, every strong player in the entire state, it doesn't matter what alliance they're in, now needs to join one of the top 5 alliances. And every active player, no matter what alliance they are in, should be joining to within the top 10. And all the alliances below 10 should become farm alliances or academy alliances of those top 5, okay? Now, once that is established, you can start thinking about doing a statewide NAP, meaning nobody attacks anybody in the state, okay? And you bring it to about a NAP 5 or 7. Try to do a NAP 5. At this stage of the journey, Your strongest of your strongest, meaning the most powerful people in the entire state, should join the number 1 alliance. The next strongest members should join the number 2 alliance, and so forth and so on, until the top 5 are now super strong. And then every other alliance should be either dissolved or become a farm alliance or an academy alliance of those 5. Now you can establish a statewide NAP. Nobody attacks anyone, no one scouts anyone, and the point now is there is one exception. No one can attack anyone except for inactive players. And what I mean by active players and inactive players is an inactive player will just log in once a week for like 15-20 minutes, or they'll be signed out of their account for 3 or 4 days. They're not going to help the state, because once Clash of Province starts and there's wars going on, if that guy's logged off and he doesn't have a shield on, an enemy from an enemy state's going to come into your state. He's going to attack that inactive player and kill the troops, take the resources, and give the enemy a whole bunch of points, all because that person doesn't sign in, doesn't put up shields, doesn't communicate. So you want to get rid of all the inactive players and only keep the active players during the NAP 5 portion of this. And as we already established, once you've established a NAP 5, all the strongest members go to the top 5 alliance, and all the active players merge and join within the top 10 alliances. Okay? Then when you have your statewide peace and nobody attacks anybody, you establish what's called a flag rule. And I'll go over the flag rule in a separate video. But briefly explained, the flag rule is used to keep track and to maintain your active players, and it's a way to eliminate inactive players. And a brief description of how the flag rule works is, today is Sunday, let's say, and it's reset. A message has been sent to every alliance in the state, every player. On Monday at reset, Monday morning, everyone is to put up the Jamaican flag. Anybody that is displaying the Jamaican flag is not allowed to be attacked, not allowed to be scouted, not allowed to be pretty much, they're not allowed to be attacked. They're safe. Anyone that does not have the Jamaican flag, well, they're open. They can be attacked, you can take their resources, you can do whatever you want. And then next week, you tell everyone in your state, all right, everyone put up the UN flag. Anybody that has the UN flag displayed is safe. They can't be attacked. They can't be scouted. And anybody that does not have the UN flag can be attacked. You can take their resources. It's free for all. Do whatever you want with them. And the reason why you do this is because if you give everybody a few days notice saying, listen, each week we're changing our flag. If you display the correct flag, you're safe. That means anyone that is not displaying that flag, they either have extreme pride and they're like, no, I'm going to rock my Brazilian flag, or I'm going to rock my American flag. Screw the flag rule. Which means they're not cooperative, they're not willing to help out the state, and they care more about themselves and their pride. All right? They're going to be damage to your state and make life in your state a lot harder in the long run because they're uncooperative. Or they haven't read the messages, they haven't been logging in, they haven't been following what's going on, they're not very active, and so that means when the enemies come, they're going to be doing the same thing. They're not going to be paying attention, they're not going to be putting up shields, they're not going to be communicating, and they're going to give the enemy points. So the flag rule is established to eliminate the inactive players. Basically, if they're the only ones that are getting attacked, they're going to want to quit. And at this point in the game, if you've established the flag rule and you have a NAP, a statewide NAP, they're probably not growing much anyways. They're so inactive, they're probably level 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, while the best players are at this point probably 16, 17, 18, 19, you know what I mean? Or maybe even higher if they're spending a lot of money. So you want to get rid of the inactive players so that once you have your state competing against other states, their only active players are there. You know what I mean? So your state is well defended because only active players exist. You see what I mean? So like I said, I'll explain the flag rule in more detail in a separate video. This video was just about NAP and the purpose for having a unified state. As a brief summary, I know I've been babbling, but as a brief summary, the key things I want you to remember is that the alliance is not your family. the state is your family. Okay, it doesn't matter if you were in an alliance for 5-6 months. It doesn't matter. You're all in the same state. You can still talk in chat, PM, alliance chat, public chat, use Line or Discord. You can still hang out. It doesn't matter what alliance you're in. The point is to form 3 or 4 major alliances. Help them. All right. Another thing is drop your pride, drop your ego, drop your grudges. If you are upset that this guy or this alliance is powerful and they're picking on you, this and that, that's because you're not thinking correctly. There's a reason why they're able to bully you and they're able to pick on you. It's because they're aggressive. They're very active. They're good at what they do. They are strong. And when your state starts going against other states, you want that bully to be on your side. You know what I mean? So join them. Don't just take it and be like, ugh. Drop your pride, drop your ego. You know what? Hey man, I gotta give it to you. You've been picking on me, but you know what? You're better than me, you're stronger than me, your alliance is better than me. Alright, let me join you, and I'll have my strongest players join you as well to help out. Because in the end, you're helping the entire state. Now, as an example on why this is important, my state, State 97, and I'm in Alliance G97, Guardians of 97, we just finished Season 3 of Reign of Chaos. We were at war with, I believe it was T95. Now, when G97 goes to war, we're not just at war with one alliance. When we go to war, we're facing like 3, 4, sometimes 5 alliances distributed amongst 3 different states helping out. And they're teaming up against us. And it's not because, oh, they're so strong, that's what they have to do. That's part of it. We are strong. But they want to win, or they want to stop us from winning. So they form friendships, allies, peace agreements with other alliances and other states. And they work together. They team up to stop us, to try to prevent us from winning. Which means we have to do the same thing. We have to form allyships with other alliances from other states, form peace agreements so that we can team up and we can win. You know what I mean? So we had, during our last war, not only was it our alliance from our state, but we also had AXK, RIO, MYM, RU2, which are all alliances in our state. They were helping us. Plus we had a couple alliances from State 103, State 104, I believe 96, you know, all teaming up. And you can check these wars out in my war playlist and you'll see, well, I'm telling the truth, you know. So that's the key thing. The alliance is not your family. The whole state is your family. You got to drop your pride, drop your ego, drop all grudges, and help your state by doing whatever it takes to form 3 or 4 super strong alliances. Because when your state starts going against other states, it's going to be those alliances that do all the heavy lifting, that do all the fighting, that makes it so that every other alliance in the state gets some sweet rewards. And finally, if you want to be the shot caller or the top dog in your state, don't. If there's someone out there that's willing to take that responsibility and can handle it, understands the game, might be far more experienced than you, who cares what you think, all right? Your pride and your ego is just going to get in the way and you're not going to last long, all right? If there's already some people out there that are willing to take on that responsibility of managing thousands of people, relationships with 3, 4, 5 different states, that knows enough about the game to know what Reign of Chaos is all about, Clash of Province is all about, knows the tips and tricks. Let them lead. Let them be in charge. It's not about being the strongest alliance in your state. It's not about being the strongest person in your state. It's about being the strongest state in the entire game. And the only way you're going to achieve that is by forming a unified state. Everybody thinks of everyone as family, looks out for everybody. If someone, you know, from an alliance that's slightly smaller than yours, you know, they're struggling to grow, and you have several farms you're not using at the time, man, let them attack them. Let them get some resources. Because down the line, they're going to give you some resources if you need it, you know? It's just like a family. You help each other out. And you start off by doing NAP, non-aggression pacts. The top alliances, it's not about them bullying the smaller alliances. They have to get strong somehow. And until they have enough farms to do it, and until there's enough strong active players, and until the state versus state events happen, they have to feed somehow. They have to get their resources somehow, and if they can't attack each other because they're trying to allow the top to grow strong, well, then they have to attack the lower alliances. It's survival of the fittest. If after 2 or 3 months you're not in the top 15, then join the top 15, because you're never going to get there. And that's in closing, that's another thing. If your state's been around for a few months or a couple months and you're thinking about starting a new alliance, unless you're someone important in the state and there's some political thing in the background, if you're just average Joe just playing the game and you just don't like the alliance that's in charge and you think you're going to start a new alliance, that is stupid. Because after about 2-3 months, the top alliances have the strongest players. Those players have a whole bunch of farm accounts that they're getting resources from. They're growing rapidly, exponentially. You're never going to make it to the top. If you form a new alliance, why form a new alliance? That's not going to help the state. That's just going to divide the state even more. If you have a grudge with the number 1 alliance, then join the number 2 alliance. You know, do that. But the point is, you got to have a unified state. NAP is one way to start that. The main objective of this game when it first starts is to form 3 or 4 major powerful alliances. Once you've gone through the phases of NAP 15, NAP 10, down to NAP 5, and all the strongest players in the state have migrated to the top 3 to 5 alliances, and all the active players have migrated to within the top 10, and all of the other alliances have been turned into farm accounts or academy alliances, then you do your statewide NAP. Nobody attacks anybody, but you implement the flag rule. And anyone that's not displaying the correct flag, they can be attacked, because that means they're inactive and you're trying to get rid of that. By the time NAP is done and you have statewide NAP, statewide peace, and after flag rule can now be eliminated because all the inactive players are kind of gone and all that's left in the state is active players, well, now you're ready to compete. Now your state's going to be strong. You're going to be going against different leagues. You know, you have the Silver League, Gold League, Legend League. You know, you're going to rise in the ranks, but you're going to be fighting against other states. And now your state is unified, so you have a chance. You can win. And the more you win, the more sweet, sweet resources. Well, I've babbled on long enough. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you have any requests, you can also leave them in the comment section below, or you can email us at guardiansof97@gmail.com. And that's it for today's video. Have a good one. Bye.